Hello and welcome to the Workbench. I wanted to show you the top 10 tools that I use to work on my RC cars and crawlers. The number one tool, the tool I use the most, are my hex nut drivers. These guys I use all the time. And these are the sizes I use. And my workbench is not. It's supposed to be level, but it seems to have gotten unlevel over time. But these are the ones I use the most. The 2.5, the 2, and the 1.5 millimeter hex drivers is the ones I use the most. My top-notch screwdriver kit. I use this for a lot of things, not just RC cars. It's been really good. The bits have not worn out on me. The screwdriver is expandable, telescopic, whatever you want to call it, but it's happy to see you. Yeah, the bits don't wear out as long as you use the right bit for the right job. You're in good shape. It also includes the hex drivers like these, so you could just get this and not get this if you wanted to. But I like so much I bought an extra handle. Yeah. All right, number 3 on the list. Oh, no, not this. Number 3 on the list are side cutters. Side cutters come in very handy for cutting wires and plasticky parts and things like that, and leaves a nice, smooth finish. I have a good pair, but you can get the cheap pair. They work. It depends on how you use it. If you take care of them, it's going to last you a long time. The cheap ones aren't going to last you a long time. That's why you buy them in packs of 10 or 20. Tweezers. I've had these set of tweezers since I've started doing the channel. These have been great tweezers. I've even worn off the label and all that stuff. I'll have a link down there to these tweezers. But these are also the knife picks, or however you pronounce them. They've been very good. And they also have little grips inside. I don't know if you can quite make that out, but they do have little grippies inside. I have used the cheapy ones, the ones you get on every single kit they give you for free everywhere. And yeah, they give them to you for free for a reason. They're cheap and they don't last very long. But they're available if you want to use those instead. These hefty containers have been a lifesaver. So these, you can put all your parts in there, grab a lid, pop it on top, and away you go, especially if you're like me and you work on multiple projects at a time. These have been also great. Sam's Club has them cheap. Costco will have them too. They're all on the Amazons as well if you want to spend a little bit more money on them there. Soldering iron. For those of you who have tried soldering and have given up on soldering, that's because you didn't have a good soldering iron. Get yourself a good soldering iron and you'll be happy you did. It makes soldering a breeze. The other things that make soldering a breeze is good solder. This is 60/40 solder. It does a great job. It works well. And a cleaning doohickey thing for the solder. Don't use the sponge. This is much better. Lasts longer than this. Well, I don't know if it lasts longer than the sponge, but you don't have to get it wet. You just go like this, and it cleans it off when it's hot, and your soldering iron is nice and clean and ready to go. So that is a must for RC cars. Get a good soldering iron. The Proxxon screwdriver. Proxxon was nice enough to send me a bunch of stuff. And this is by far the one I use the most. This is the Proxxon electric screwdriver. You plug it into their 12-volt system and it does the job. This thing is great. I use this as a drill. I use this as my electric screwdriver. The cord on it is not obtrusive. It's very nice. It works. It does the job. But you can get an electric screwdriver anyway. Proxxon's the one I use. Shop towels. Shop towels are great. They're thicker, they're more absorbent than paper towels. They're a little bit more expensive, but these are great. You can save yourself some money by cutting them into squares like this, and then you can use just a little bit at a time. I've had these shop towels for a long time because I cut them into little baby squares. Shop towels, great thing to have. Calipers. If you are getting into this hobby to build things for the hobby, a decent set of calipers is a good thing. This is an eye-gaining caliper set. When you read the reviews, people will say, well, it doesn't turn off. Well, you know what? I've had this 4 years now. It'll do inches and millimeters. I've had this 4 years now. I haven't replaced the batteries on it. I've left it on. It doesn't matter. It doesn't take up any battery power until you actually use the thing. So, good pair of calipers. You can also get a cheap pair from Harbor Freight. Those work as well. Get those first. See if you like doing it. There is nothing wrong with getting the cheap pair of tools first and then getting the good pair, except for the soldering iron. A cheap soldering iron will just make you think that soldering is too difficult. 3D printer. I have the Bambu Labs P1S. Before that, I had the Creality Ender 3 Pro. Ender products are great products if you like to tinker. If you want to get into the hobby of 3D printing, that's great. I'm not in the hobby of 3D printing. I'm in the hobby now of RC cars. So I have the Bambu Lab printer. It does a great job. I don't have to think about it. It prints, and I'm done. A pointer if you're in YouTube. Zip ties. And I found these zip ties on the Amazon. They're very inexpensive. You get 1,000 of them. And they're nice and small. And they are thin. They're easy to bend. These are great, great zip ties. They are so cheap. I'm not worried about using them and then cutting them right off because I made a mistake. Get yourself some zip ties. Throw them in a Ziploc bag. You'll be happy. So these are the main tools that I use day in and day out. Oh, there's one more thing that you will need. You will also want to get a screw kit of 2.5 and 2 and 3 millimeter screws. I got the stainless steel set because I like the way they look. There are two main kinds of screws. There's the cap head screw, which are these guys, and then you have the button head screw, which are these guys. I use the cap head screws more because they don't strip out as bad on the head. Simple as that. But get yourself a good set of screws. There'll be a link down in the show notes where I got all of the different screws. I just happened to run to Harbor Freight and grab this plastic box and put them in there. There you go. These are the tools I recommend you get to start in building RC cars and modifying RC cars and crawlers. You won't be unhappy with any of these. Thanks for watching. I hope you like this kind of content. Let me know. And yeah, have fun and happy crawling.